What's up, good people? This will be another quick show that I'm a little more interested in just an idea of who's interested in these kind of things. Um, I'm going to do a longer show on this, but as the show I did yesterday and a couple others that I've done, it was more of a just posing a question um, from this standpoint that if you were to go do some research on this and what we've learned, to um, give this precursor to the whole thing as a little bit of place to stand when you're looking at this. When you look at the information you're given by any source in any book, especially when you get into these history books and understanding who wrote them, and realizing that their purpose wasn't what you think it was, and the information is bound to be faulty. Um, when you look into this stuff, like there's a very big question about what you'd call the foundlings or these orphan trains, and the official narrative on these things doesn't line up. Doesn't make a lot of sense, especially when you're considering there's not much of our history that we've ever been given, granted, shared with us by any powers that be, as like people like to say that. The information sources provided that actually line up with any type of real, true history. So when you look at this and you look at all these foundlings and these kids moving all over the place in droves, thousands of them, homeless in New York, and where do they come from? Just nowhere. No one knew how to take care of these kids. Where do they come from? I mean, I have a few ideas and theories on it, but that's that's really not for this here. Um, I may continue on with this and see who jumps in the room, and if you guys want to spitball some ideas, or if you guys have any, if you've read anything about it, or have any clues, we'll start there. But again, as I'm going to, as it bears repeating, as people show up, I don't know if I'll keep this post live on the YouTube, or if I will just erase it after. But yeah, where there's the mud flood, the false history, the false narrative. What's up, woke sister? Yeah, really. You watched a video. Do you know which video it was? Who did it? Because there's a couple there's a couple really good ones on the foundlings. I think the dude that goes by conspiracies are us. I think he did one, or one in that kind of. There's like a group of really interesting researchers. One is mud floods. One is flat Earth British. One is conspiracies are us. And there's another dude and oh, Rebel Without a Pause, maybe mud flood, maybe. Yeah. And interesting stuff, right? And the thing that I like to note about all of these pictures that we see, especially when you get into the mud flood stuff, it's so very obvious how absurd and staged they look. And there's a lot of pictures you'll see about all of these kids that were supposedly didn't didn't have homes, etc., etc. And it looks like somebody put face paint on them to make them look dirty and grungy. It's very interesting, very, very interesting stuff. Because when you get back into who owned the cameras during this time frame, what's up? Yeah, maybe. Um, who owned the cameras? What were they part of? Were they already part of a family? Were they kidnapped? Were they? I mean, there's so many options here, but most of the official story is. I mean, if I start where I am today, woke sister, and look at the narrative of what we've been given through all sources of media, there's not much that is true. Yeah, Daniel Bunch, who controls the past controls the present. Who controls the present controls the future. This is true. So, yeah, it's. I wonder. I wonder. Where do they come from? They just did they? I mean, I could get into some, the crazy, out there theories. Do they come through like from another a tunnel? Do they come from another realm? They all seem to be If you notice, they're all a bunch of little white kids, pretty much. Yeah, that's a little interesting, ain't it? Are they all Slavic? Do they all come from the upper those regions, the northern regions of? Do they come over on like what I've kind of expressed before is like this the Slav trade or the slave trade was boats not just taking people from Africa, 'cause that's not what happened at all, but if it was something quite different. And I mean, there's too many interesting things that go on. Once you get to about 1900, and then start looking at the stories and the pictures and the, you know, I'm gonna do one on like the architects that supposedly existed then and the buildings that were made and how that just there just weren't enough there weren't enough architects to make the buildings. There weren't enough. There wasn't enough people that were. When I say masons, I literally mean stonemasons. There weren't enough workers. There weren't enough. The towns. No, there just wasn't enough people. There wasn't enough going on. So there's a lot of questions, and hopefully we can unearth some of the closer to truth history than what we've been given. Where were the Aboriginals? The Aboriginals. Well, that goes into what may have happened with the mud floods and things, and what may have happened with higher technology that really existed, probably even in the 1800s, early 1800s. I mean, get into like if you looked at my work that I did. Well, it's not mine. I I just took it off this other dude's thing, and I even gave him credit. I was like, don't follow what I'm saying because he's done a lot more research into it. But it's called the Carolina Bays, and like when you start to look into like, man, what are these things? Where are these you know are these weapons? Was this something falling out of the sky? Was this there's a lot of things that like just don't add up in the history that we've been given. So as far as the Aboriginals, I mean, the Aboriginals were obviously melanated peoples. Um, where did they go? Who, that's are they still around, just not in places, not in the cities? I mean, there's a lot of different ideas here to play with. So again, I didn't want to make this too much of a my thoughts on it or to dialogue on it because I'd rather have a more cohesive idea for myself to kind of speak on it, and I'm just trying to um, weave a web of understanding between what seems to me to be the architecture from the early 1900s, the Tatarians, the mudfloods, the um, the foundlings, where the Aboriginals go. Um, And my first theory that I did a while ago on it was that what we'd call the slave ships, the Slav ships, were the Slavic people bringing Slavic people here and taking Aboriginals from here over there, like to Europe. So they were just switching places. They were switching. They were taking taking people from the America to Europe or to Africa even, and taking some people from Africa to Europe and some people from Africa to America, but a very small number of them. I mean, because you also have the islands too, where people were going. So it was just like moving populations, and so you start moving populations and giving people a new history, a new religion, because people didn't have. I don't think people really had religion in the 1800s the way that we're given it. I don't think it. There so many book burnings and so many rewritings of stories. If you really considered who owned the printing presses, who had the power to print anything, you can't for a second think that if I write a book and I bring it to the printing press, I don't have the last say in what was. They can edit anything they want in there. All of a sudden, there are people that maybe weren't Masons, like Freemasons, that all of a sudden they credit them and say they're Freemasons. Or they just change a few words in there. It makes it look, just changing a few words changes everything, the whole dynamic of what was said. So when you get into who owns the printing presses and what books are allowed to come out and how they come out, and I mean, it's just, unearthing through archaeology is one thing, right? You unearth something, but then what happens? the Smithsonian comes through, right? Smithsonian's a private institution. And who are they? Who are they work for? The Smiths. Who are the Smiths? Right? You have to get into all that. It becomes a very convoluted story. But the point is, most people can see how absolutely faulty the narrative is. Yeah, get into woke sister. Get into the MudFlood stuff. I've really enjoyed two people that are doing awesome things on it. But if you go to their description boxes, they'll take you to a bunch of other people that are doing awesome work. It just I think it's the most cohesive and comprehensive of the way of saying something, and that's conspiracies are us. The dude Mudflood, and the dude his name is John Levi, Jonlevi, and I've really liked what they've done because they've made it very plain to understand. They made it pretty simple, and then obviously flat, but like Flat Earth British and a couple other people. Rebel Without a Cause is really Rebel Without a Pause, Rebel Without a Pause. His information is really good, but he has a very thick what Hackney accent, like Irish. It's very thick, so it's kind of difficult for some people to maybe hear what he's saying. Like I can understand most of what he says, but I don't think most people could, you know, decode what he's saying. Daniel Bunch, do I know if Black Salve is safe? Yeah, Black Salve that comes from what Bloodroot. Bloodroot is really good. Bloodroot is a good. I mean, I would just make my own, but there's plenty of places you can get Black Salve. Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong there, but it comes from Bloodroot. Bloodroot is one of the best things for cleaning the blood and for all sorts of things. Yeah, I'm gonna read your comment if you're still there. Black Sab is from Bloodroot, correct? Nothing. There's no conspiracies, man. The word conspiracy in and of itself is a conspiracy, but the word conspiracy just means to work together. So they're everything in the world is a conspiracy. Like if I go and bake a cake with two other people, we're conspiring to bake a cake. So it's more of a coinciding, like the coincidence means to coincide. It's just yeah, it has the wrong connotation. So I don't even like to use the word conspiracy. You know. Yeah, I've heard mixed Scottish. Oh, hey, on a plane, on a plane, he's Scottish. Okay, yeah. Well, and obviously the Irish and the Scots and all of that. If I were to say call them, I get it. It's like calling somebody Chinese Japanese or Japanese Chinese. I get it. I just didn't know what his what his background was. Yeah, and another way that scars can get rid of. There's plenty of oils and salves that you can use. I'm trying to think of off the top of my head what breaks down scar tissue best. You probably want to do things that are brute force. Like getting in and using some just massage is helpful. You know, that's going to be one thing. Get yourself a gua sha tool. This is something I bring up a lot. Get a gua sha tool, and because also using the gua sha tool, you're going to be putting those salves and those oils on there, and that's going to help break up scar tissue. And cupping is going to be another good thing. There's a few more right out. I just don't have it on the top of my head. It's early in the AM for me. Oh yeah, Daniel Bunch. Yeah, just I mean the basic rundown is the mud floods and the title of the video. You can look into those subjects. And I was just to reiterate, I was just saying there's so much false narrative on it that I wonder what the actual historicity is, what it looks like, because so much of it so much that you look at looks so photo opt, like just full on photo opt, like oh no. Like I always wonder about these two things. Maybe I'll make a video on it. I have before. One is the noble lie, and one is the, like, if you knew the future but nobody else did, and you were making a path to a better future, what would be universally a better place, but it took some weird things, would you do it? You know what I'm saying? That's always the curiosity with all of these larger groups, because like, in one hand, what you would say is like, of course a one world government is insane. That sounds crazy. They want to put us all in pig pens and prisons and shit. But in the same sense, like, would it be? Would a one world government really be insane? Wouldn't it? Shouldn't it already be that way? Why should we have borders? Why should we have anything but all of this plane of existence on the same level? You know, that it's not like, the barriers aren't, then these barriers that you have in your mind go away. Then this whole dual system, this duality goes away. Wouldn't you rather have it that way? I mean, yeah, there's a pro and con to everything, and that's just what you do in your mind. But I just put that out there for fodder to play with in your mind. What's up, Alec Dumas? The best email to use to email me, Theoluminous, TheoLuminous, Theo, God, luminous light, Theoluminous at Gmail. The Aberfan disaster? Never heard of it. Where did that occur? I'll check it out. I'll give me something to do today. But I do have a what up, yo? I did get invited onto a show later today. So I don't know if it's going to be broadcast live, or if it's going to, if it is going to go live, I'll let you all know. If not, I'll give you a link to it whenever I do it. But it's probably going to be basic subjects like health and urine and all of these things. Aberfan. Yeah. I would check it out though. I don't have my other computer. Oh wait, hold on. I can do it right now. Look at this. I'm ahead of the curve. We'll do it right here, real time. Let me see if I can, because a lot of times when you have a, let me put it this way: if you have an architecture in your mind of the way things work together, that, like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to break this whole thing down for you, but if I could maybe um, put a few pieces together for you, if I can find it, because obviously the etymology is going to tell you something, and then the location will tell me something. Um, One second, y'all. Catastrophic collapse of the. Oh, there we go. Well, there you go. That's in 1966. Okay, that sounds much like a mud flood, right? Yeah. I'll dig into it further, but I think that, yeah, that's cool, man. And the coal mining is interesting too. Hmm. Okay, I'll check it out. Let me take a look at some of these pictures. See, it's kind of like these wildfires and wildfires, or even, okay, and for everybody on this, oh, it's direct energy weapons. Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I also, is it a movie set? Did anybody really live in these places? Are they just were people already were they already part of the larger conglomerate? Were they part of the club? You know, if there was 100 people living in town and 100 people were part of the club, and you're like, hey, just we're gonna move across town. And they're like, cool, knock the shit down. Insurance money. And here's the thing, is like, well, that town is shitty anyways, right? Nobody wants to live there. Here, let's ruin this town. Let's move over there, and we'll put something better through here. I mean, that's the enlightened version, right? Nobody got hurt. Nobody got injured. Anybody into, like, I'm not going to back it up to 9/11 or whatever, but no floors matter, no lives matter. Nobody died. There were no floors in the building. These things matter. So from the sense of holographic, from the sense of controlled, from the sense of controlled movement of populations. I mean, for good, for bad, for nefarious purposes. Now these are hard to tell because there are an awful lot of good things in the world. But then in the same sentence, I can be like, well, you know, the world of medicine and the pharmaceutical companies are not about healing people, and we know this. But then in the sense of, okay, if someone's has an injury and they go to the emergency room, they're gonna get fixed, right? You know what I mean? Like there is, if someone's in pain, they'll take the medicine, right? Just because they don't know that they can get it from the plant world. There's a lot of pitfalls to believe it's all bad, or that it's all good. So, without going on a long tangent with that, James J. Martin Caney's work. I don't think he says 2020 is going to be a disaster at all. He doesn't say that. Him and Norbs, they don't say that. They think it's something completely different. Apocalypse or Armageddon don't mean bad. And their work basically says that, here's the quick breakdown. I've done this before. That in the inner realm is the Aryan realm. We live in Atlantis in the next realm, and then you have the realm outside of that, which would be the Lemurian realm, and then outside of that would be Hyperborea. So there's four rings or four realms, and we live in Atlantis, but we just don't know that because of mud floods and whatnot. And there are gates between each realm that on certain specific dates because of energies through the larger galaxy, because we're in a solar system, but the realm inside, that's a solar system with Mercury as its sun and moon. That's where the Aryans live. That's why there's no it's perpetual daylight in the inner realm. But then out here, where our sun and moon are moving around, and then outside of that, Lemuria would be where the more like Asian looking people probably came from, and then Hyperborean realm is where the really dark black melanated people probably came from, which looks like, this is why black people always be like, oh, we were here first. Well, they came through the portal first, but then their realm got pushed outside. And now there's this big black and white divide, which is the Aryan race in the middle and the black race on the outside. But there's these gateways open up in between the realms where we're in the Atlantean realm, where basically probably the native people, the semi-melanated people, the dots and the feathers, the Indian people inside of Diana. In Diana, it's where these people live. So their theory and their idea, which links up with a lot of things, says that on that date, then or around there, these energetic portals will open between the realms, and that you'll be able to move through them. Not everyone will, because their energy won't be right. Some people will. Some people will stay here. Some people will move into an inner realm. Some people will move to an outer realm. And they'll be at different stages or ages within their advancements of, consciousness. So I don't think there's any sort of, I don't think there's a doomsday scenario. I don't think there's, people are like, oh, they're trying to kill us all. Like, no, there's not they. And if there is a higher consciousness, they're not trying to kill anybody. That'd be silly. If those people with higher technology and everything wanted you dead, you'd be dead. If they have higher technology, and they have the ability to make everything with robots and computers and shit, they don't need you. So why wouldn't they just? You would have been done a long time ago. But that's not the purpose of living. That's not the purpose of life. I mean, at least from my perspective. So, I think the idea is it's more of a grating or a grading and sorting mechanism for consciousness. I think that's what it is. And these toroidal fields, which are what don't allow you to get through, is, and I put this out here because a lot of this work is, if you can get out of body, then you can walk through this wall right here. I can walk through this wall, and you'll be able to see the atomic structure of that door. Now, I've done this plenty of times. Now, what if I get outside of this building? And all of a sudden I go to where the edge of this realm would be. There's going to be an energetic barrier there that I may or may not be able to get through. Now, before I knew that this was how it worked, or how I suppose it works, I've been to those barriers. I thought it was, I thought I was going to, say, like the moon, or what you'd consider like to outer space. Because there is an outer space. Let's just put it that way. People on this flat Earth shit be like, "There's no outer space." There's certainly a fucking outer space. It's just out there, and there's also an up there too. You know, but when you get out of body, you'll see different energetic signatures of things. So I think that's what that is. I think that's available anytime to certain beings. If you're at a higher frequency, you can travel anywhere you want right now. But I think those portals open up to a higher degree for more movement of energies, if that makes sense. Yeah. Hey. DAI. Die breathing. Dia breathing. I'm guessing it's diaphragm breathing. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's definitely. I mean, it's so movie set. I'm not saying there's not energetic, electronic, electromagnetic weapons, but those same things can be used for healing. We've already seen that you can use sound frequencies and things to heal things. It's the same set of principles are used. If you put something in 432, you can create cymatics that resonate to make a shape that is looks like a flower. But if you put that same set of harmonics, you're using a frequency 440 instead of 432. Now all of a sudden it dissipates and it becomes destroyed. It's like doesn't exist. It just vanishes. So same way that glass could be sitting there and an opera singer could hit that note, they're hitting it at a note that is in that is like a split second off, but at the same octave. It's at the same frequency, excuse me, but it's a split second off, so it shatters the glass. But you could equally make something with the same type of frequencies. So, aha, there we go, Wokes. Yeah, there we go. See all the coding. Now, see, this is where all of the gematria work comes in, which again, I've always put it this way: gematria or gematria is a second or third source of information. I would never use that as a primary source because you can take gematria and be like, oh, it means evil empire, it means this, it means that, but it also can mean something good. You just have to. It's just the way you read the code. Any word you put is going to link up with numbers, and those numbers they can be positive or negative. They could equal another word. So I would never use that as a prime source of information. You got a lot of people out here that be using gematria 100% of the time to be like, oh, everything's fucked up, everything's evil. Like, no, that's not what it's all saying. That's not what the code really means. Yeah, nobody. Yeah, nobody trying to kill anybody out here. That's the thing. It's like they're trying to put things in the correct perspective and order, and everybody like, yeah, they're causing the chaos to make the order. All this shit, like, I don't know about that. That's not really. It's not really. That's so superficial. That's so superficial. It's like some people like I used to get in arguments years ago about like Manly P. Hall. Like, oh, he was a Freemason. Like, yeah, so, and what? Have you ever read any of his books? Well, no, he said this one thing, and I'm like, but did you read everything else that was awesome that he said? And everybody just wants to go, no, that person's in Hollywood, that person's Illuminati, that person's Freemason, that person's this, blah blah. Like, well, but what about what they? 90% of what they're doing is fucking excellent. I had this conversation with somebody the other day talking about Russell Brand and Sadhguru, saying that they're part of the fucking the bad guys, blah blah blah. I'm like, who are these fucking bad guys? Whatever they said or done specifically that you know of that you can, because as far as I can see, they're like sharing knowledge, trying to make it a better place out here, and people out here be like, no, no, they're fucking it all up. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Zach Hubbard always does it, but what? That's funny. I bought Zach. I tell everybody else to do it too. I bought Zach's book the other day. I used to follow him a lot, but he gets caught up in the numbers too hard, man. He plays this. Remember that movie Pi? It's a black and white movie about this guy trying to figure out how the universe works through numbers. Sorry to break it to people. Universe ain't made of numbers. It's not. Numbers are third in order. Numbers are third in order of what was manifest on this realm. You can't eat a number. You can't interact with a number. Numbers are mind numbing. Root word for numbers is numb, numb. It sounds like dumb to me. So that's so far down the line, they can only verify something to a degree. And you have to come back a second, and that would be letters. But even those letters, which are gods, which are you'd call them angels or angles. Even before that, there was something. It was sound or light. You could pick sound or light, whatever you want. But sound and light were primary things. That's what it is. Sound and light to create feeling. That's what the universe is. Period. Then from there, you can start to play with sounds and letters, which gives us our voice. We weren't sitting out here counting things out before we were finding a voice. As a child, you find your voice first. You can just observe it plainly. First, the child yells, screams, laughs, all of this shit, right? It's not counting things. Counting is way down the line. So it's life is an expression of feeling and of sound and light, and then from there. So I like to remind people that everything is a radiant source of energy, and energy doesn't have a number associated with it. Yeah, well, so, yeah, I hope not. I hope not. He still ain't found he still ain't found flat Earth yet, but the information he gets out there is good, but he is caught up a little bit in some shit. Like in his mind about like numbers, 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 and I'll say it again. If you haven't bought his book, go buy it. It's only $5, dude. He put like 780 pages of work into it. Dude put it together. Um, so. Oh, and anybody here? We got 30 people in the room. Only 3 people have the time to just push the button to give me a thumbs up. It doesn't bother me. I don't take it personally, but it just helps people find. If this video does stay up, it helps people find it in the future. Um, so if it's not too difficult for you to just find right, it's probably right over there on the left hand side of your page. Just hit that button, or feel free to leave me a comment to go eat shit and die. I mean, I appreciate that as well. Yeah, well, yeah, there's something very interesting about that. Is he part of it, and is he a gatekeeper to a degree? If you really in on the club, what they say is you're not allowed to say that you're in the club, right? But then some people do say they're in it, which is so confusing. See, so it's all a mess for people. It's like, well, or a mess, whatever. Yeah, I don't get it either. He knows that everything that NASA does is a lie. He knows that everything that NASA does is a lie. Everything the government's doing is fucked up. Everything is bullshit. School systems are fucked. Yet he clings onto this ball Earth as if it's. I thought that was taught to you by the same people that you don't trust. But whatever, That's how it is. That's how it is. What's up? What's up, Lucienne? What's up, Rising Love? Oh, thank you for the ducats, yo. Thank you for the ducats. That's paying for some tequila today, I think. Appreciate it. I know it be Johnson. They act like that like button's gonna sting their finger or something. Like, I don't know if I like this yet. Man, it's like this. I'm not motherfucking McDonald's. You know what you do? When you all fucked up and stupid and drunk, you go to McDonald's. You ain't gonna hit the like buttons, but you're gonna eat it. But if you're sitting here listening to me for more than 2 minutes, it ain't that hard. Hit the fucking like button. No one to sit here to not hit the like or dislike. It makes no sense. Coming here for 2 minutes, you don't like what I'm saying. Hit I don't like and get the fuck out of here. It's easy. Or if you stay here, be like, well, I wouldn't. In the middle of the day, with a reasonable mind, I give you $100. I say go to any restaurant you want. You're gonna go somewhere where you want to eat that food. So you're gonna go spend that money there. In fact, you ain't gotta spend money. All you gotta do is hit the fucking like button. This is Louisiana, don't eat shit and live. What's up, Carson Flowers? What's up, Moonlight Sonata? I haven't seen you in a while. It's been a bit. Of course, of course. What's up, Johnny K? And I'll let you all know again tonight. I don't know if the dude's gonna do it live, or if he's gonna record it and edit it. I don't know what he said he wanted to do, but he wanted to do like an interview, whatever, little show with me. So I said I'd do it. Um, so if it does go live, I'll let you know. I'm gonna talk to him in a couple hours. We'll find out. It's supposed to be at like I don't know 7 or 8, 7 o'clock. We'll see. If not, I'll link you up to his channel. Um, yeah, yeah. Oh, so anything should I anything that I should talk about on the show tonight? I don't know. He wanted to do things on urine therapy and health and those just kind of general. I don't know. I guess most of my earlier work and most of it now too is for health and well being. And is there anything that I should bring up that you guys have questions about, or I mean, I'm happy to answer them here too. Um, yeah. Anything? Any ideas? Or obviously for shows for that I'll just do myself because I much prefer just to do the talking. It would be master teachings. It's funny, people are always like, "Why don't you do a show with Savan Bomar? Why don't you do a show?" Like it would never like me and Savan. We're too similar in the way that we talk. The show would be 25 hours long. We go on these long ass loops and tangents and weird shit into things and esoterics and crazy shit that it you know it would be the longest weirdest show. Like then there's a few people who are like, "Why don't you do a show with this person?" I'm like, I don't know. And there's some people that have asked me to do shows that I just don't want to do shows with. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I might do a my master teaching videos. W- were those the ones I did like 2 years ago on the master diet? Well, I did the master diet one all the time. One of these days, I'll find a companion, a counterpart that will go through my videos and re-tag everything properly. Because everything there's only a few tags in my video, so it's really hard to find shit. Hmm. So what else? What else, y'all? Said I wasn't gonna be on here too long. Hey, look at that. What time is it? 11:11 a.m. I got 22% left on my phone. What are the chances of that? I'll tell you what the chances are 100% because that's what it is. Anybody want my anybody want my opinion on something? Because I got my other computer here. I can look up weird shit right now. Like this Aberfam disaster, which I can't wait to bring that one up. And I've been really into the mud floods and all the I mean the mud flood is just really really interesting to me. Like absurdly. I think it's as important, if not more important than the flat realm we live on, the plane of existence. I think it's as important, if not more. I think it's probably more. Alec Dumas, the fastest way someone get from disease to health, distilled water. urine, fruit juices, sunshine, walking barefooted, movement, occasional sun gazing. That's it. Healthy relationships, um, creativity, finding some sort of creative outlet in your life. That's always helpful. That excess vibration, making noises, sounds, painting, listening to good music. But starting in the beginning, like if you were like, okay, that's way too many things, but that would be the kind of what you would just have to from the physical standpoint, you want clean water, clean air, sunshine, ground yourself out. Those things right there. And obviously urine is going to work as fast as anything. Urine and distilled water. And the fruit juices, because most people ain't going to be just like, I'm fucking diseased and filthy and I'm going to start drinking my piss tomorrow for 40 days. Most people don't have the wherewithal to do that. They won't even have the capability of doing a 40-day water fast. They won't even have the capability of doing a fast for 5 days. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody's really like, yo, I need to do this, that's a few of us that have done that. Stop eating. Yes, stop eating is number one. There you go. Stop consuming the dense physical realm. Stop eating shit. Stop throwing everything in your mouth and chewing on it. That's number one for sure. Ah, there we go. Master diet was here. Master Blument's here. Okay. Yeah. I'm probably what I've said I'm gonna do as soon as I get uh, a desktop is probably visit some of those videos and see if I can condense them and make a because doing the computer shit from a phone isn't doesn't work, man. Like I know how to use a computer. I know how I could work with a program and make something pretty decent with pictures and shit and kind of you know talk through it. But doing it from a phone or an Android does not work. So that's why I just do these things live. I don't have enough memory on here to even. I can only get like a 5 minute. I can record for like 5 minutes and it's done. That's about the problem here. Lorraine Bennett. Let's see. Your thoughts on Wi-Fi in the home? Well, we have to first remember that everything is electrical frequencies everywhere. There's FM, AM radio stations and everything going on in the air. There is microwaves happening. There's everything is energetics around us. Certainly turning them off when you go to bed is a good idea, so that way it doesn't interfere with a calm state of balance. But if grounding yourself, if you got yourself a grounding mat for inside, the frequencies aren't gonna, they're not gonna affect you as much. You're gonna ground out your system. You're not gonna be electrocuted by them, basically. Um, I don't think there's. I don't have the big like a lot of people are like, fuck technology, fuck all this shit. It's no good. It's not true at all. Without this technology, none of you would be talking to me. We would be just as stupid as we were in 1988. You know what I'm saying? But like, there's a lot of people like, yeah, we're like, oh man, all this technology gets in the way, and there's so much information that people don't have time to sort through it all. So they're just kind of just in this infinite loop of just information. But on the other hand, there's a lot of people that are like well more aware of everything, and it has sped up a process of informing people. So these frequencies and things that they've always been around us. Like the fact that there's like they're rolling out 5G now that everybody's like, well, 5G is terrible. Dude, there's already a fucking 25G network. There's already a 33G network. Oh no, did he just say 33? Yeah, there already is. It's already zipping around in the air. There's already going on. You just had the access to it. It's just a higher level of energetics, and that's all. Is it just is the wave like this or is it like this? Is the how is the frequency modulating and how is the amplitude the amplitude modulating? That's all we're playing with everywhere. That's what a sine wave is. That's what sin is. We're playing in sin. So I don't see a dilemma with it. I don't see a problem with it. It's just a matter of using it properly. And obviously at night, fucking unplug it. It's probably a better idea. But that doesn't mean to say that that shit still ain't in the air. But get yourself a grounding mat. Go camp outside. You know, go outside once in a while. Like that's probably the smart move. Open a window. Open a window. Breathe the air. You know, all of that's gonna help. Fast during this coming up gluttonous ritual week. That's going to be the see that kind of thing is to say do exactly the opposite of what everybody's doing, and I like the idea. Um, I don't think most people have. See, that's the thing is I don't think most people have the gumption to do that. But yeah, if you can do that, then you can accomplish it whenever it's not when it's not a gluttonous consumption week, or just consume something else. Don't consume what all the other gluttons are consuming. Be gluttonous about something else. Lorraine Bennett. Well, your joints are stiff for probably a lot of reasons. You've got different kind of fluids in your body. Um, different times of the year. How much moisture is around you? How much water are you getting? How much oil is in your diet? So these are certainly this being in your hand. Like I had, like my wrist has been kind of fucked up because I've been holding, like I hold the phone with my left hand, so I've been holding it in this position and it's jacked my wrist up a little bit. So yeah, certainly. I've put myself in a position and there's radiance coming off of here, which is heating things up. So that heating things up is doing something. A good solution to that is rose water. Rose water is good. Oils, um, you know, drinking some rich oils, sticking up the butt, and do yourself a basti. That's the way to go. Those are helpful. Um, yeah, just staying hydrated, really. Stop eating things that are gonna like bread and things that are supposedly so bad for you. They're not bad for you in the way that you think they are. They're bad because they're sucking moisture out of the body. That's what's happening. So you just want to find things that are more filled with juice. B. Johnson, have I ever researched shit about smart meters? To a degree, but it was just like to me, it was just one more thing that they're trying to kill us with. One more thing that there's nothing we can do anything about if they truly want. As I go back to the earlier part of this video, if they want to burn this shit down and they want to kill us all, like it's done. Like there's nothing you can do about it. But you ain't got your finger on the fucking button. They do, if there is a they. So from that sense, like for me, that's just like I don't know. To me, it seems like just one more thing that I can be worried about. Like I can be worried about everything. I can fear monger. I can get into that kind of fear mongering and be like, no, but this is the one that's the worst. Well, dude, they told me back in 1988 that everybody was gonna have AIDS by 1989, and Magic Johnson's still out here looking healthy as anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things within our society that is the worst thing ever. So, I mean, I get it. I get it. There's some real fucked up shit with it. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. That's why whenever I say something, like people are like, oh, you said it's actually good. It's the best thing. I was like, no, I'm just saying. I'm just not taking sides on it. So check it out, y'all. My phone is almost dead here. Let me hold on. Give me a second. I do have. Ah, okay. Oh, I can plug my phone in. I don't know. I don't know why I haven't plugged in the whole time. There we go. Okay, I could give you guys a little more juice. I'm smoking some mint and lemon hookah. Yes. Lorraine Bennett. 61 young, sleeping completely dead in the afternoon. Um, yeah, of course. Lorraine. Yeah, just just start getting some more water and more liquid and more juice and more oil into your body. That's gonna be number one. And certainly the cell phone radiation ain't helpful. It's cooking things. It's I mean, what's what a microwave does? It's cooking things. So you want to, the best thing to cool things down, as I repeat myself here, is rose water. Make your own, or and the reason rose water is, if you can't get rose water right away, if you have any isopropyl rubbing alcohol, put that on your skin. It pulls heat out of your body. That would be number one, Lorraine. I'm sure you have some 71% isopropyl rubbing alcohol. It basically puts a layer on your skin that pulls, so it feels cooling, because it actually is cooling your body down. And your DNA needs to be relaxed or unraveled. It gets bound up and tight and heats up. If you squeeze something together, it heats up, and so it heats up your body. And that in one way will make you tired. It's like why you put a cover on yourself at night, so you're warm, and that warmth makes you tired. So cool your body down. Take a cold shower. Where can you find info on smokable herbs? Um, Dude, just do a Google. I don't have it like off the top of my head. I don't know a good website for it. I mean, I could tell you a bunch of them that I know, but I mean, most every herb is smokable. But if you want specifics, I don't know really off the top of my head, because it's gonna have, most herbs are gonna have a different effect if you smoke them versus if you were to put them in a tea and drink them. Making a decoction versus making or a tincture. Making a decoction versus a tincture versus smoking is going to have three slightly different things going on. Of course, Lorraine. Hmm. And Lucianne, whenever you check out the smokable herbs things, go to more than one. Go to a couple different websites, just to make sure that somebody's just not cutting and pasting shit. Because sometimes, if this is what you'll find with information a lot too. Excuse me. Is this the cut and paste that goes on? If there's one wrong piece of information, the first one, and everyone after that's going to have that wrong piece of information. Now think about, like, historically what we've dealt with. There's a wrong piece of information that just got pushed forward. It's like it's that old game you played in kindergarten, first grade, whatever. You'd say something into somebody's ear, and then would say it in the next person's ear, and then by the time it got back to the end person, it was completely jammed up and jumbled. So just just double check on the resources. Carson, it depends on how lazy I'm being. I have one of each. Obviously, slow masticating is way better, but the price point of those and how long it takes and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, there's not even a question which one's better. Slow masticating is way better. Um, but it also depends on what I'm juicing. I haven't. I don't use the juicer that much. Like lately. I'll just chew. I'll just eat the fruit. You know what I mean, and spit out the pulp if I want to. Mm. Oh, that's why you asked me. Hey, let me see, Lucianne. I'll try to dig into that. See if I can find some time today to do that. See if I can find some time today to do that. And maybe I'll do a video on smokable herbs. Hmm. Do you have something specific you want it for? You just want to have an overview, or do you have something specific? Because maybe I know off the top of my head. When and how? I would just use it as a massage, just in the skin. I'd use it on, like, wounds, injuries. I mean, it's especially good for, like, injuries. There was a while ago that a buddy of mine had he'd he'd grabbed a cast iron skillet, and his hand was just like, it came out the fucking the broiler, and he grabbed it with his hand. Like it was on the stove, but he'd grabbed it to move it after, so it was like still like 500 degrees. And so I got some marshmallow root, and I was like, he's like, dude, whatever, I don't give a fuck you do. I was like, well, I'm using my piss thing. So I got some marshmallow root in my piss and put it in his hand, and like basically the next day he didn't even really have a burn on it. So, yeah, and you could use it for in small quantities drinking it, but I wouldn't put that out there like that to most people. What's up, Jessica? Yeah, I used to make rose infused vodka all the time. I think that's a great idea. Uh, it's very easy to make. Get yourself the cleanest, most distilled vodka you can. Don't get any of the plastic bottle shit. And it should take, 7 days to do, maybe even less than that. Get yourself some roses off of some dried roses, good on Amazon or whatever, and yeah, you can shake it every day. I mean, you could it's drinkable within a day or two. You know what I mean? But if you put it on like a one of those buffet servers that keeps the temperature around 100 and something, then that will speed up the process too. And put it in a mason jar, ball jar, and yeah, rose vodka is awesome. And there's some really good mixed drinks you can make with it, like bitters. Make your own bitters. I mean, you don't have to. You can buy some, but you can make your own bitters out of like wormwood and very bitter elements, orange peel, and et cetera, et cetera. Cardamom, nutmeg. You can use all sorts of weird things in it. Black walnut husk. Like those things are gonna be very healthy and digestive and kill a lot of worms out your system. You're using wormwood in it and bitters and rose vodka. That's what's up. Luciana, that's awesome. See if I missed anybody's. Scroll back through here 1 second, y'all. I got a couple more minutes because I gotta take this dog for a walk. I can hear her requiring my assistance. And I gotta, man, it's cold outside today. It's sunny out, but it's cold. What's going on here in New Orleans? It's like 50. It's way too cold. All right, so whoever's left in here, if you have any last questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. And yeah, the urine healing the burns, man. That's for sure. And in fact, any kind of burn, you go out in the sun, you get that burn on the skin. Your skin's all red. Aged urine, yeah. Or if you're real smart, put it on before you go in the sun. Get a nice tan with that. I used to go to the beach and do that. This last summer, I go to the beach and do that. I mean, I wouldn't be near anybody because the smell is pretty fucking dank, pretty strong. So I'd go to my own little spot away from people, spray myself down with some piss, put some Lucianne, do I want some snow? I've lived in the Northeast. I lived in the Northeast for a very long time, and as much as I do love the snow, no, I'm okay without it. That's why I came here. Sunshine. Follow the sun. I require the sun in my life. You keep your snow to yourself. And rising love, yes, thank you. I'll probably just go to the store and get myself a bottle, cause that way I can just do a. Well, actually, I can't even start drinking. I got a show to do later, so I can't start until later. I don't want to be all fucking drunked up for the show. I don't care, but I don't want to be too loaded. Just a little bit, just a little bit. I'll start drinking at like 3 or something. But I will go find some tequila and walk around for a little bit. Yes, to the sun. Yeah, Rising Love, any suggestions? Any suggestions? Of course, Jessica. Any suggestion what kind of tequila to sip on? I could get a real nice. I could get. You know, what, I'm not gonna get a real. Well, let me see. I could get a real nice bottle with what you gave me. So I don't know if I should get two bottles of decent. That's the one with the deer on it, right? The cazadores. That's the one with the deer, right? Yes, I know the bottle. I know it. Jose Gold. I've been drinking Herradura Reposado, and this dude put me on to this. He works at this. I go Taco Tuesday at this restaurant over here, and he put me onto this bottle, and it's called La Casamitas. Is that right? La Casamitas, and it is fantastic. They pour it in a. I don't know if he just did it because it was me, but he poured it in like a nice wine glass, kind of like a snifter, and it's like vanilla and caramel and a little smoky and like Las Casamitas. Is that right? I'll look it up. See if I can find it. But that, I don't know, cause I just buy shots. I just get shots. I don't know. I don't know what they cost, so I don't really pay attention to all that shit. Let me see what a bottle is. La Casamitas. La Casamigos. La Casamigos. Maybe. Here's 1 second. Well, I think it's Casamigos. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, Casamigos. Checking out their website. See if it's the right one. Uh huh. Get me all excited here about some tequila right now. Yeah, that's it right there. Shit. Okay. Yeah. That's what's up. All right, guys. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Uh. Oh, Amanda, you did. Thank you. I will do this. I will. I'll do that right now. I'm gonna take this dog for a walk. Maybe stop by and have a beverage or something. Thank you. I appreciate Amanda. Thank you. Oh, I don't know. A Rising Love. I don't know that they're known for anything. There's just somebody that said he wanted to do a show, and he's like, dude, I want to do a show, and I was like, well, fucking, I don't know if he already has a channel or what the fuck. He just kind of contacted me. I was like, all right, cool, whatever, man. So I'll talk to him later and see what it looks like. I don't know if he even has a channel. Or he just wants to be like get out there and like I don't know. We'll see if he's have something to do. Maybe I won't do it. You know, maybe he's a goofball. I don't fucking know. You never know till you try. So, anyways, yo, I'll be on here a little later today and say what's up. And you all have a beautiful day. Find yourself a puppy to pet.